Your dog just licked you. Maybe it was your hand. Maybe it was your face. Full tongue, zero warning, zero apology. Maybe it was your ankle at 6 a.m. while you were still asleep, which is arguably the most personal violation a dog is legally allowed to commit. And you did what everyone does. You smiled, maybe wiped your face, and thought, "Aw, he loves me," which is sweet, touching even, and also only partially correct. Because here's the thing nobody tells you about dog licking. Love is just one item on a list that is significantly longer, significantly more complex, and honestly, once you understand what's actually on this list, significantly more fascinating than you ever expected. Your dog's tongue is not just an affection delivery system. It is a communication tool, a sensory organ, a stress response, a social negotiation tactic, a medical symptom, and in some specific contexts, a request for something so particular that once you identify it, you'll never look at a lick the same way again. So, let's talk about what your dog is actually doing when he licks you, because some of it is adorable. Some of it is ancient, and at least one item on this list is going to make you say, "Wait, seriously?" out loud alone in whatever room you're watching this in. In the next few minutes, you're going to learn the real science-backed reasons dogs lick, the ones that go way beyond "he loves you." You'll learn how to read which reason is happening in real time, when licking is a sign of something you should actually pay attention to, and what your response to the lick is quietly communicating right back. Real research, real behavior science, and zero guesswork. Let's get into it.
Reason number 1. Yes, affection is real, but it's more complicated than you think. Let's start with the one you already know, and immediately complicated. Yes, dogs lick the people they're bonded to as a form of affection. That part is true, but the mechanism behind it is rooted in something far older than your sofa and your Netflix subscription. Wolf pups lick their mothers' mouths to stimulate regurgitation of food. That's the original function of the lick. It's a feeding request embedded in infant behavior. As dogs domesticated, that mouth-licking behavior got transferred from "feed me" to something more generalized. "I trust you. I am close to you. You are safe." So when your dog licks your face, slowly, calmly, with soft eyes, he is performing a behavior that began as a survival mechanism between a mother and her pups over thousands of years into the closest thing a dog have to saying "I love you" in a language that predates words by about 40,000 years. That's not just cute, that's ancient. Reason number 2. You taste incredible, and that's not a compliment. Here is the reason nobody wants to hear at a dinner party, but is completely, unavoidably true. You are salty. You are sweaty. You are covered in a thin layer of skin cells, trace minerals, residual food particles, lotion, sunscreen, and the biological output of several million skin glands. And to your dog's 300 million scent receptors and highly specialized taste architecture, you are delicious. This is not an opinion. This is chemistry. Human sweat contains sodium, lactic acid, potassium, and urea, all compounds that dogs find deeply attractive from a sensory standpoint. When your dog licks your arm after you've been outside, gone for a run, or just exist as a warm mammal in a moderately heated room, he's not always expressing devotion. Sometimes he's snacking. Think of yourself as a very slow, very expensive salt lick that occasionally gives belly rubs. That's the accurate mental image.
Reason number 3. He's running a health scan on you. This one is where it gets genuinely remarkable. Your dog's tongue is not just collecting taste data, it's collecting chemical information, a full-spectrum sensory report on your physical state, your stress levels, your hormonal shifts, and potentially your health. When your dog licks you with deliberate, focused attention, returning to the same spot repeatedly, especially if you haven't noticed anything unusual there, he may be responding to a chemical signal your own nervous system hasn't registered yet. He's not tasting you, he's reading you. Your dog just turned out to be part salt lick, part medical device.
If that's not enough to make you hit subscribe right now, I don't know what to tell you anymore. This channel drops real, science-backed dog content every single week, the kind that makes you feel like you finally understand your dog instead of just living next to him. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and come back every week. You're already here, so stay tuned. Reason number 4. It's a submission signal and you might be triggering it. In canine social language, licking has a clear submissive function, and it goes in both directions depending on context. When a lower-ranking dog approaches a higher one, face licking is a deference signal. It communicates, "I'm not a threat, I recognize your status, please don't escalate." It's the dog equivalent of approaching your boss's desk with extremely good posture and a very non-threatening smile. Now here's the part you might not realize. You can accidentally trigger this response. If you use a stern tone with your dog, even casually, even for something as mild as "get off the couch," and he responds by immediately coming to lick your hand or face, he's not ignoring the correction, he's responding to it. That lick is his way of saying, "Message received, we're still okay, yes?" It's appeasement. It's a social repair gesture. And if you pet him warmly every time he does it, which most people do because a lick after a scolding is objectively hard to resist, you have just accidentally trained your dog to respond to corrections with licking, because licking produces positive outcomes, which is either a design flaw or a masterclass in manipulation. Still undecided.
Reason number 5. He's managing his own anxiety, not just yours. Licking releases endorphins. That's not a metaphor. It's a documented neurochemical response. The repetitive physical action of licking activates the brain's opioid system in dogs, producing a mild but measurable calming effect. Which means that when your dog licks you during a thunderstorm, during an argument he overheard, during the 10-minute stretch before his walk where the anticipation is almost unbearable, he is not only trying to comfort you, he is using you as a coping mechanism. You are his stress ball, a warm, responsive, occasionally confused stress ball who sometimes says "ew" and wipes their arm, but a stress ball nonetheless. Research in animal behavior has consistently found that dogs redirect self-soothing behaviors toward their bonded humans when anxious. Excessive licking, especially if it starts appearing in contexts that didn't used to trigger it, is one of the cleaner behavioral signals that your dog is carrying anxiety he doesn't know what to do with. The lick isn't random. It's regulated, and he came to you with it, which, if you think about it for 1 second, is kind of everything. Reason number 6, the wound-licking instinct and why it's more complicated than dogs heal things. You've probably heard that dog saliva has healing properties. This is simultaneously true and significantly overstated on the internet. Dog saliva does contain compounds with mild antimicrobial properties, including lysozyme, an enzyme that breaks down bacterial cell walls, and nitrate compounds that convert to nitric oxide on the skin, which can inhibit certain bacterial growth. However, dog saliva also contains over 600 species of bacteria, many of which are harmless to dogs and spectacularly unharmless to humans. Capnocytophaga canemorsis, a bacteria commonly found in dog saliva, can cause severe infection in immunocompromised individuals. There are documented medical cases. This is real. So the accurate summary is, your dog licking your wound is an ancient caregiving instinct rooted in genuine ancient biology, and also not something your dermatologist would endorse. He means well, redirect him anyway. We've now established that your dog is simultaneously an ancient caregiver, a chemical analyst, an anxiety sponge, and a walking bacteriology experiment with excellent intentions. If this channel isn't already saved and subscribed, you are actively choosing to understand your dog less than you could. That ends today. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, tell one person who has a dog. This is the content that makes pet ownership feel like the deeply fascinating relationship it actually is, and we're here every week.
Reason number 7. Licking your face is a specific communication act. Here's what it's saying. Face licking is categorically different from arm or hand licking, and most people treat them as the same thing. They're not. Face licking, specifically around the mouth, is the most direct descendant of that wolf-pup feeding behavior we talked about earlier. In adult dogs, it's become a hyper-targeted intimacy signal. You are the closest, safest, most important social entity in my environment right now. Dogs don't lick the faces of people they're uncertain about. They don't face lick strangers, guests they've just met, or people they find merely tolerable. Face licking is reserved. It requires proximity, trust, and a specific level of emotional investment. If your dog goes for your face, especially around your mouth, especially after you've been away, he is performing the highest intimacy greeting behavior in his social vocabulary. You are, in that moment, receiving the dog equivalent of being met at the airport with flowers and a hand-painted sign. It is extremely wet, but the sentiment is impeccable. Reason number 8. When the licking is telling you something is wrong. This is the section that earns its place in this video. Not all licking is communication. Some licking is compulsion. And the line between my dog is affectionate and my dog is struggling is one that gets missed constantly because licking feels good to receive. One sign that licking has crossed from behavioral communication into something that warrants attention is the excessive, focused licking of one body part on you, particularly if it's a spot you haven't noticed anything unusual about. This could be an indication that your dog is responding to a scent signal. Get that area looked at. Your dog's lick is almost always trying to tell you something. Learning the difference between I love you, I'm anxious, you taste like sunscreen and I have no regrets, and something is wrong. That's the skill that makes you not just a dog owner, but someone who actually speaks the language. So, the next time your dog licks you, which statistically is probably going to be within the next 6 hours, here's what you now know. He might be saying, I love you, in a language older than spoken words. He might be scanning your chemistry for something he detected before you did. He might be decompressing from something that stressed him out. He might be greeting you with the most intimate gesture in his behavioral vocabulary. Or, let's be honest, he might just really like your moisturizer. The point is that none of it is random. None of it is meaningless. Your dog's tongue is connected to his brain, his nervous system, his social instincts, and his specific, personal, deeply held feelings about you. Every lick is a sentence. You just needed the translation. If this video genuinely changed the way you understand your dog's licking, and I know it did, 3 things. Like this video. 1 tap. It helps more dog owners find content that actually explains their dog instead of just making them feel good about not knowing. Leave a comment telling us where your dog licks you most. Face, hands, feet, that one spot on your elbow that makes no sense, and we will read every single one. We always do. And subscribe if you are not already here. Every week, this channel goes deeper into the real science of dogs, their behavior, their emotions, their cognition, and the bond they share with you, in a way that is accurate, engaging, and genuinely impossible to stop watching. Your dog licked you today because he matters to you. The least you can do is understand why. Subscribe. See you next week.